With us now on the phone is Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi. Florida was the lead plaintiff in the 26-state lawsuit challenging the constitutionality of President Obama's health care law. And Attorney General Bondi, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, the Supreme Court upheld the individual mandate under Congress's taxing power. They struck down the Medicaid expansion provision in a 5-4 decision. What's your reaction to the ruling?
Well, of course, overall, we're completely disappointed with the ruling. But, we have to remember that one thing that we learned that we've been saying all along is that there are enforceable limits on Congress's power under the Commerce Clause. And, as Justice Roberts wrote in his majority opinion, the federal government does not have the power to order people to buy health insurance. And, I've said all along from day one, this was so much bigger than health insurance. If they could force us to do this under the Commerce Clause, they could force us to do anything. And, of course, we're disappointed with the outcome today. I mean, we fought for the principle that the Constitution limits Congress's powers to direct the lives of people. But we won on that point. But, the thing that to me really is the most sobering is that we learned that our Republican system of government only works when our leaders are honest with the American people. Because the U.S. Supreme Court today ruled that this is a tax.
Attorney General Bondi, what is next for Florida now? Florida Governor Rick Scott ordered the state not to accept federal money for implementing the health law. Florida hasn't implemented an exchange that would meet the requirements of the federal law. Could Florida refuse to implement the law, and is it something that's being considered by you and Governor Scott?
Well, we'll be working with the governor. We'll be working with the legislature. We've already spoken with the governor multiple times today. States will still have a choice on the Medicaid issue. The court, that was another win. The court, for us, the court did rule that they cannot coerce us to participate, or they would pull all our Medicaid funding. So that was very important to us. But again, the most sobering point today is truly that in this case, the Constitution's limits on government power didn't fail. Political accountability failed. Our president failed because we had a president and his supporters who were not straight up to the American people. They told the American people this was not a tax. It was never a tax. And, of course, it was a tax costing us over $4 billion.
Now, just so that I'm perfectly clear, will Florida implement the law or not?
Well, we will comply with the law. Absolutely, we will comply with the law. We have to digest this opinion. Of course, it's over 200 pages. It just came out. I was in clemency hearings since 8 a.m. this morning, all morning. So, we've all been trying to quickly digest the opinion. But, of course, we're going to respect the Supreme Court. Of course, we're going to comply with the law. But this has now become political because we have a president who clearly misled the American people.
Now, you endorsed Mitt Romney in his GOP presidential campaign. There is talk this ruling will energize the base and independents. How do you think the ruling today will impact the presidential race?
Well, I think the American people will have their say in November, and I'm confident they're going to join me in rejecting the law that's harmful to individual liberty, our economy, and the welfare of our people, and elect Mitt Romney. I think this election has now become the most important in our history, and Mitt Romney has got to become president.
Attorney General Bondi, one last question for you real quickly. Were you surprised that Chief Justice Roberts sided with the more liberal justices, and why do you think that he did?
Of course we were surprised. I can't say we weren't surprised and disappointed. I'm never going to criticize Justice Roberts, nor am I going to criticize any of the justices. But, of course, we were surprised. But what he found was that this had merit under the taxing power, which is totally contrary to what our president has been saying from day one. So it's the president who misled the American people.
Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching Newsmax TV.